Well, I got some questions on how I make my Les Paul necks, and I'll just walk you through some of the jigs that I use for the Les Paul necks. First, I get the blank sized up correctly, and once I get the blank sized up correctly, I'll use this for both my carbon fiber rods that I insert into the neck, and then I'll move this over off center and use this for the truss rod channel. I use a dual way truss rod. I don't really like the standard classic truss rod, so I get this marked off. I get my neck blank laid out as such, and I go ahead and start doing this. From there, I make a couple of cuts first. First, I'll do the angle cut, and then from there I will put this on my neck profile jig. Essentially, this is a custom jig I made. It's got all the different marks. I've got a little spacer here so I can get a little bit more thickness when I need it. Essentially, just clamp it down, and boom, profiles the back pretty much to the T. Then if I want to take a round over or carve it by hand, it's pretty quick. Then after I carve the back, I toss it on the taper jig. Essentially, the taper jig is just the neck again profiled out with the correct 17.5 neck angle. Clamp it down, and boom, run this against my pin router or my shaper depending on the day, and just have it tapered. It even tapers the top of the neck here, so that way when I pop this piece down, I get not only the correct curve through the neck, but I also get the ears and wings. And usually I'll work on a little bit thicker pieces. I don't like working one piece neck. I like doing 2 to 3 piece glue ups. It's a much stronger joint. Then I add the carbon fiber rods, and that neck sustains forever. You've seen me use that copy carver to carve the Les Paul tops. I've got some questions on how do I then do the neck pocket. Well, the neck pocket then is pretty easy. I essentially do the neck pocket off the jig, and then this is a 4-degree neck jig that I built. Essentially, I get the body all done, I clamp it down, screw this down so I get a nice flat top center line here off of my center line on the body. Clamp this down, put it with the top bearing bit, and essentially just move this around the pin router or the top bearing bit router, whichever way I'm deciding to do it for the day, and it'll clean the cavity to the exact height here, which I think is like 1.5 inches. So doing that, then I've got a pretty good process of doing the necks and the jigs and whatnot. If you guys got any questions, please pass them along. These toggle hold-on clamps are invaluable. Really, I think it takes some time to figure out how you want to build the neck and the jigs. I watched a lot of videos of other people, and this works for me. A lot of people say, well, I don't really like the way it works. Like, well, you can build a guitar neck 100 different ways. This is kind of my process, and it works pretty good for myself. So again, send me any questions if you got them. Thanks.